G'day gamers, Gob here. Welcome back to Gob's Quickies, and today we're going to talk about something which is a magical device here in Minecraft. And let's be honest, come on, admit it, you don't know how it works. It's a comparator. You just use it and you're not 100% sure what magical things happen inside it, but you just know it does stuff. Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to show you what a comparator does, how it works, and why, so you can build even better and bigger contraptions within your world. So let's go to it. Now, to start with, this is our comparator. There are two sides to it. There is a front side and a back side. Okay, the front side's got the two little mini redstone torches, and the back side has got a little tiny baby redstone torch. Okay, and the back side is where our signal output normally comes from, and the front side is the one where it actually does the looking and comparison and things like that. Now, that is a little bit like an observer just here, okay? But a comparator can do more than just comparing signals. It can compare, it can maintain, it can subtract a signal, or it can measure a block state. And what do we mean by that? Well, the maintaining a signal strength, if we've got a signal strength of, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, and we'll go out this way, 15. Okay, so we've now got a 15 and 15 on either side of the comparator. Okay, so this torch will only have a 1 signal strength when it gets to the comparator. Okay, so the comparator is only whacking out a signal strength of 1 as a result. Let's move the redstone torch a little bit closer. It should now have a 2 signal strength, and we're putting out 2 signal strength on the other side. Okay, if we come right down here, okay, we've got a 14 signal strength signal. Actually, it's a 15, and we'll get 15 coming out the other side. Okay? So that is the maintaining a signal strength ability of a comparator. Now, okay, but we also have a subtract mode. Now, subtract mode is where we turn this little button on, and the comparator starts looking at signal strengths from the side as well. And it subtracts the largest of the signal strength from the side from the signal that we're getting from the front. But when we're in subtraction mode, the comparator will take the signal strength coming in from the front and subtract the signal strength from the one coming in from the side, and it'll take it away. Okay, so if in this example, we've got a, 15, 14, 13 signal strength coming in from the front, but we've got a 14 or a 15 signal strength coming in from the side. So this one's greater. So it actually has a 0 signal strength coming out the back. Okay. This one here, we've got a signal strength of 15 coming in at the front, and we've got a lesser signal strength coming in from the side. What's that, about 13? That gives us a 2 or so signal strength being outputted, okay? We're not in subtract mode yet because we haven't turned this a lot on. At the moment, it's in maintain signal strength mode, so it's pumping the full signal out that side, but the moment we do this, it goes to subtract mode, okay? So it's taking this signal strength from this signal strength, and we've only got a signal strength of 2 coming out, okay? And this also works from the side. Okay, so if we put a signal from the side, okay, it will look at these two signals and work out which one is greater. Okay, so at the moment we've got a signal strength of 1, 2, 3, so that's, what's that, 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so this is a signal strength of 10, so 12's the greater. Okay, take 12 from 15, leaves, or from 13, 14, whatever it is, and leaves us 2 there. Okay, this one here is smaller, so it won't count. If we move this one to here, however, okay, it will take these two, does the subtraction, works out there's only got a signal strength of 1. And if I get a redstone block and whack it down here, it turns it off. Because we now have a greater signal strength here than we do here. Okay? Now in compare mode, which is turning this one off, okay, it will look at the side signals compared to the front signal, and if the side signals are greater than the front signal, it turns itself off. So in this example, this signal coming from the side is greater than this signal coming in here, so the comparator isn't on. Okay, if we move this out, so it is now a smaller signal than this one, okay, the comparator is still on because this one is greater, so this one has the primary signal, okay, and it's getting the full signal strength. Okay, and if we move it down, whoop, okay, this one's still greater, that one's greater, it turns itself off. Now, the other compare signal is the one people are most traditionally used to, and that is the compare mode of a fullness of an item, okay, like a chest. And this is what we get in item sorters and things like that. Okay, so when the item that we're looking at is full, it gives out a full 15 signal. If it's got something in it, it gives out a 1 signal, and then we got a range in between. So for example, okay, if I put one item in the chest, the comparator gives out a signal and we've got a power of 1. Okay, if I fill the chest, I get a full signal. And if I take half of the items in the chest, we've got a half signal, and so forth. Okay, so the amount of stuff in the chest determines how much signal we get out. Now, the other thing that we've got is measuring block state. Now, I wasn't actually aware of this one. This is cool. Okay, so the signal can actually go through a block. Okay, so if we've got something in that chest, okay, the comparator will read it and it will give a signal. Okay, now this could be pretty cool in builds where you want to have a secret entrance or something like that. That is pretty cool. Now, continuing on the measuring the fullness of containers, okay, the types of containers that the comparator will read from is a hopper, and that's again what we do in item sorters. It can measure a furnace, it can measure blast furnaces, it can measure smokers. It can even measure brewing stands. How cool is that? It can measure dispensers, droppers, barrels, and shulker boxes. But that's not all that a comparator can measure the fullness of. It can also do a respawn anchor. So fully charged, it can measure whether or not a lectern has a book on it. It can measure whether or not a jukebox has a music disc in it. Boop, 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 boop. We'll turn that off. It can also measure, now this is pretty cool, an item frame. If an item frame has got an item in it. Okay, so let's just put this music disc in there. Okay, now this is the cool thing. Initially put in 1 signal. Rotate it, increases the signal. As you continue rotating, the signal gets higher and higher, until you go back to start point and back down there. That's pretty cool. And that actually could have application again for hidden doors, hidden controls and things like that. You know, you move an item in an item frame and it opens up a doorway or something. It can measure how full a composter is. It can also measure how full a cauldron is. It can measure how much you've got left of your cake, so you can check if someone's eating it while you're outside. Okay, so if you eat a little bit of the cake, you lose your power. And it can check how much honey is in your beehives. So there you go. That is how a comparator works. It is a really, really useful redstone tool that has a lot of applications for your builds and your bases and machines and things like that. If you liked the video, please give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Go check out all my other content. And that's all I got time for today. Until next time, hooroo!